Alin and Ozan, both Interpol officers, are assigned to investigate a strange series of art thefts happening around the world. The thief seems to break into museums and take paintings that are considered the least valuable, leaving behind priceless artifacts and masterpieces in the same location. At first, the pattern puzzles them, but soon they notice something unusual about the stolen art. Every painting taken has a common theme: love. This realization helps them predict the thief's next target. Alin is confident about the next museum the thief will strike. She and Ozan prepare their team and set up surveillance. Despite their efforts, the thief manages to steal the painting in broad daylight. He leaves behind a subtle clue and allows Alin to see his face for a brief moment. However, he vanishes before anyone can catch him. The brief glimpse is enough for Alin to recognize him. She knows exactly who the thief is: Güney, her ex-lover. Güney had once been the love of her life, but he disappeared suddenly years ago without any explanation, leaving her devastated. Now, he's back, and it seems he's the one behind the mysterious art thefts. Alin reports her findings to the Interpol chief, confident she can prove Güney as the thief. But the chief is skeptical. Güney is a billionaire, and he could easily buy any painting he desires without resorting to theft. The chief also reminds Alin of her personal connection to Güney, warning that this could make her biased. He insists they need concrete evidence before they can act. Determined to catch Güney, Alin devises a plan. She decides to use her charm to get close to him again and catch him in the act. With her heart still carrying the weight of their past, Alin knows this mission is personal. But she's ready to confront Güney, even if it means risking her feelings once more. When Alin confronts Güney, he surprises her by asking for a second chance. Pretending to be hesitant, she agrees, knowing it's part of her plan to expose him. During their conversation, Güney opens up about his past, admitting he had run away because he was scared of commitment. Alin acts as though she sympathizes, hiding her true intentions. Meanwhile, Ozan has been digging deeper into Güney's operations. He uncovers information about a mysterious accomplice and a warehouse tied to Güney's activities. When Alin learns about the warehouse, she decides to investigate on her own, hoping to find solid evidence. However, the plan doesn't go smoothly. At the warehouse, she's caught by Vera, Güney's skilled hacker. Vera and Alin engage in a physical fight, during which Vera becomes suspicious that Alin might be a cop. Luckily, Alin has covered her face well, revealing only her eyes, and escapes before Vera can identify her. Back at Interpol, Alin examines the materials she managed to recover from the warehouse. Her findings point to Prague as the location of the next theft. Güney, unaware of Alin's suspicions, continues to draw closer to her. They spend more time together, and he confides that he doesn't want to be apart from her. However, he mentions he has a business trip to Prague and will be gone for 2 days. Alin seizes the opportunity and convinces him to take her along. Güney spares no expense, treating Alin to the billionaire lifestyle. He takes her on a private jet and surprises her with luxurious gifts, including elegant new clothes. On the flight, Vera voices her concerns to Ömer, another member of Güney's team. She suspects that Alin might be the cop who attempted to break into their warehouse. Despite her suspicions, Güney dismisses it as a coincidence, insisting it must have been a random break-in. Upon arriving in Prague, Alin's partner, Ozan, tracks her down at the hotel. He warns her that pursuing Güney against the chief's orders could jeopardize her career. However, Alin is determined to see the mission through, even without official backing. Ozan accuses her of letting her feelings for Güney cloud her judgment, but Alin insists she's doing this for justice. Now, with emotions running high and the stakes even higher, Alin must find a way to balance her personal feelings and professional duty to bring Güney to justice. Güney surprises Alin with a private dress rehearsal of a romantic musical she has been longing to see. The intimate and thoughtful gesture rekindles her feelings for him, making it difficult for her to stay objective. Later that evening, the two of them are alone in Güney's hotel room. They share a passionate moment, but just as things escalate, Alin pulls back, claiming they're moving too fast. She leaves, torn between her emotions and her mission. The next day is the day of the planned robbery. Güney tells Alin he has some work to attend to and leaves her with a car to use for the day. As soon as he departs, Alin contacts Ozan, and together they follow Güney. Despite their efforts, Güney manages to outsmart them once again, successfully completing the heist. Frustrated and defeated, Alin and Ozan return to Istanbul, feeling like they're back at square one. Shortly after their return, Güney takes Alin to meet Faisal Varli, an aging businessman with a questionable reputation. Faisal is a sleazy character, but he welcomes Güney and Alin into his lavish home, where he shows off his private collection of paintings. As Alin observes the artworks, it becomes clear to her that the paintings are stolen. This revelation makes her uneasy, but she hides her reaction, not wanting to tip off Faisal or Güney. Güney, on the other hand, seems intrigued by the collection. Inspired, he begins planning to break into Faisal's highly secured private vault and take the paintings for himself. The security system protecting the collection is nearly impenetrable. It includes multiple layers of protection, voice and face recognition, around 75 surveillance cameras monitoring every approach, and a set of ever-changing passkey words that only Faisal knows. The vault only opens when Faisal's voice repeats the correct sequence. Despite these challenges, Güney is confident he can bypass the foolproof system. He assures Alin he has solutions for every obstacle. Alin watches him with a mix of awe and dread, realizing just how far Güney is willing to go for his ambitions. With her feelings for him growing more complicated, Alin knows the stakes are higher than ever. If Güney succeeds, it will be his boldest and most dangerous heist yet. Güney was in the middle of his plan to break into Faisal's vault, and everything was going smoothly. Suddenly, Faisal decided to take a woman to the vault to show her his private collection. Vera, monitoring the situation, panicked and warned Güney to hide. Güney quickly found a spot to remain unseen. Just as Faisal and the woman were about to enter the room, a staff member called Faisal back to the house for an urgent matter. Frustrated, Faisal left, giving Güney a chance to continue his work. At the house, Alin approached Faisal and warned him that his collection was going to be stolen. Faisal didn't believe her and demanded to know who was behind the plan. Alin explained that she didn't know the thief's identity but was certain a theft was imminent. Angered by her vague response, Faisal grabbed her by the throat and tried to force her to reveal more. Before Alin could respond, Ozan arrived and ordered Faisal to release her. Faisal, confident in his position, refused to cooperate and reminded Ozan that he needed a warrant to act. Realizing they couldn't push further, Alin decided to leave with Ozan and the team to avoid making the situation worse. The next morning, Faisal appeared in Alin's apartment. He had discovered her investigation notes on Güney, which revealed his involvement in the theft. Furious, Faisal confronted Alin and stormed out. Alin immediately set out to find Güney and warn him about Faisal. When she confronted Güney, he admitted that he already knew she worked for Interpol. He revealed that he had purposely left a trail for her to follow, leading her to him. Güney had vanished without a trace for years, leaving Alin heartbroken and confused. She never understood why he had disappeared without a word, not even explaining what he did for a living. The truth was, Güney had been caught in Mexico and spent years out of contact. When he finally resurfaced, he held a press conference to announce his return, but by then, Alin had moved on and started working for Interpol in Paris. Güney later admitted that he had tried to find her but couldn't bring himself to confess his past as a thief. Instead, he crafted an elaborate plan to make her fall in love with him again. To rekindle their bond, Güney took Alin to his grandfather's house. There, he revealed his deep connection to art, inspired by his grandfather, a talented but unrecognized painter. Güney shared the pivotal moment that drove him to start stealing art. During their time together, Alin had once joked that the Mona Lisa only gained immense value after it was stolen. That offhand remark had planted the idea in his mind, fueling his actions over the years. Now, standing by a serene lake, Güney and Alin faced Faisal, who had caught up to them. Faisal aimed his gun at Güney and fired a warning shot, grazing his ear to intimidate him. Alin stood frozen as Güney, instead of panicking, teased her relentlessly, demanding she admit that she still loved him, even as they were being hunted. Faisal prepared to fire again, but Ozan arrived just in time to stop him. Ozan revealed a deal he had made with Güney. When Güney broke into Faisal's vault, he discovered incriminating documents tying Faisal to a major drug operation. Güney had handed over the evidence to Ozan, who, as a former narcotics officer, was eager to bring Faisal to justice. In exchange, Ozan agreed to turn a blind eye to Güney's harmless escapades of stealing art and hearts. With Faisal in custody, the danger passed, leaving Alin and Güney alone to face their unresolved feelings. Alin confessed her love for Güney but was torn about their future. Güney gave her a choice. They could abandon their current lives and become partners in crime, traveling the world and stealing art together, combining their love and passion for art. Alternatively, Güney offered to leave his life of crime behind, returning to being a wealthy, law-abiding billionaire so they could be together without fear of the law. Or, as a daring middle ground, they could use their combined expertise to create an underground art gallery, showcasing the stolen masterpieces while keeping their identities hidden. The decision was theirs, but whatever they chose, it was clear they couldn't walk away from each other again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel where